Americans move a lot, often from one state to another. A major trend throughout American history has been moving from east to west, especially as the country expanded west as part of the jingoistic manifest destiny. In the 20th century, with the rise of air conditioning, another major trend emerged in American internal migration, moving from north to south to the so-called Sun Belt. These two trends continue today, as you can see from this map of American migration in 2020. Note that the top states for inbound migration are Western states. More people moving west is good news for getting more people to see the dark sky. If you look at this map of light pollution, you can see that the east is almost entirely lit, with few dark sky places. Meanwhile, the west has far more dark sky locations. Unfortunately, climate change ruins everything. As climate change worsens, historical and current migration trends in the United States will reverse given new situations. First, the Sun Belt will be too hot, and there's only so much air conditioning can do, especially when we need to save energy. People will want to move to northern states. Second, the need to save energy will force an end to the unsustainable car-centrism that dominates modern American cities. It will be easy enough to turn East Coast cities into walkable cities when they were walkable in the first place and only had car-centric roads and highways shoehorned into them when people started moving to the suburbs after World War II. It will be hard to do that in Western cities that only started to develop after the introduction of the automobile and thus were car-centric from the start. Finally, natural disasters will force people to move into more resilient parts of the country. These trends together will soon send waves of migrants to the part of the country known as the Rust Belt, as explained in detail by an urban planning video that I will link in the description. I think these trends will also bring migrants to the Northeast, cities like New York and Boston. They might not be as resilient to natural disasters, being on the coast, but they're northern cities where it's actually feasible to live without a car. Now let's look at this light pollution map again. The Rust Belt and Northeast are not good places to live if you want access to the dark sky. If the majority of Americans come to live in this region, the majority of Americans will never know true darkness. Plus, as more people move into one city, it becomes brighter with the bigger population. So these cities will become more light polluted than they already are. And that isn't even taking into account how light pollution is increasing over time. I am all for walkable cities and good public transit, but saving the climate shouldn't come at the cost of the environment, and darkness is part of the environment. Many dark sky cities exist, but those in the United States are mostly in western states. Northeastern and northern Midwestern cities will need to step up their dark sky game before global warming gets worse if we want a world where Americans know a dark sky.